Part of me is like, are people gonna watch it for real? Am I even good enough for you? Don't feel like you're a burden, even though sometimes we be feeling like it. One thing my brother actually told me earlier on in the process was that, hey, like, don't worry, because one day you're going to be able to give forward. It is us whom God has chosen for this day. We're all called. So this next tip is one that I got from a coworker of mine. It is, don't be afraid to bother people. Don't feel like you're a burden, even though sometimes we be feeling like it, and ask for help when you need it. So when I first started my job after the 3-month introductory period, it's like I would start a task that I knew I had to complete a report. As I'm working on it, I would come up with a question. It's like I would reach out to one of my coworkers, hey, can you help me figure this out? It felt like every 15 minutes I had a question. So there are times when I would work through them on my own and then ask for help, but it's like it's unavoidable. Asking for help is unavoidable because a lot of times you're learning, and then at the same time there are some things that you can't just like read your work through. You actually have to ask someone that has been there for a while. And so when you're in this space, you kind of like a burden because you're a person that's like learning everything for the first time. But at the same time, it feels like you're not giving back. You're not putting in stuff. You're just like, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. So you actually start feeling like a burden. One thing my brother actually told me earlier on in the process was that, hey, like, don't worry, because one day you're going to be able to give forward. Like, someone's gonna walk into the company, you know, your boss might ask you to train them. My boss actually ended up asking me to help train someone that was new to the job as well. So that actually ended up happening, and the opportunity to give forward actually presented itself. And now that like I'm doing good at my job, I can actually take on more tasks and build more reports so that I can help my coworkers out a little bit. But, you know, ask for help. Don't feel like a burden because one, if you submit something wrong, then it's going to take more effort and more time on your end and everyone else's to correct the bad work that you submitted. And then two, the more questions that you ask, the more that you learn, you submit quality work, you make everyone look good, and then you could be more productive. You could help people more, make your company look good, and just efficiency and performance as well for the whole company goes up because, you know, humility. But yeah, ask for help and you're not a burden. All right, I don't know how many people are watching my video, but this last and final tip is actually like my favorite tip of all. And this is to help you thrive in actually life, not even just work, but life. It is, don't be afraid to fail. And so this is my favorite story ever. Tom Holland, which is like just got engaged to Zendaya or whatever, and he was applying for the role of Spider-Man. But before he was even casted for the Spider-Man role, he was insecure because he was 19. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is. You see it on the kids' book bags and lunch boxes and folders and all of that. He was insecure at just the amount of pressure that he was going to have to go through in order to fulfill and measure up to this role. He was trying out for the part. He sees this musician playing just outside where he was supposed to audition. The musician was terrible. He was bad at what he was doing. He was trying to get cast as an extra in the movie role. Regardless, he was bad at it. And so Tom Holland sees him, and he actually gained confidence at the fact that there was this person that wasn't that great at what they were doing, but they didn't stay in bed that day. They woke up, got out of bed, and had the courage to try at something, suck at something in public, in front of people, fail at something, and just try. And that's actually walking. How many times did we have to like fall down as we were all learning how to walk? He gains courage from that person sucking at being a musician, at playing music. That was what actually gave him the courage to do well in his audition that he was feeling insecure about. Because it's like, even me making YouTube videos, part of me is like, are people gonna watch it for real? Am I even good enough for YouTube? I see all these amazing people and I'm just like, should I be on here? Should I be making videos? And then it's like, it's Tom Holland literally did well because this man decided to get out of bed, his best foot forward, and he didn't know the tremendous amount of impact that he had from waking up in the morning and doing what he needed to do, even if he sucked at it. So don't be afraid to fail. You don't know who you could be. Inspiring at the moment. And actually I have a little bit quote about that from the book that I read. Not Winston Churchill or Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass or Mother Teresa. It is us whom God has chosen for this day. We're all called. If you liked this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, or subscribe for me, please. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.